We all know corrupt politicians cost stakeholders money. Great news, Wayne Wentz resigned. Now you ask, why would we call him corrupt? Well, you got to realize that for years he was on this board, and here's the Auditor General's report showing how this district corrupted Pennsylvania School Code 609 and failed to follow the law. That's corruption. Plain and simple. Now, let's take a look. So, it's curious, but the best way to go back and look at what's going on in a district is go back a couple years. Read an article or two in the newspaper. This one, for instance, is great. It's a critic of mine and others, I'm sure. Most people that are boisterous in this world tend to be critical of their politicians, and I love them for it. Ask why, the man answers. So, here we go. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to just run through this article for a little bit. Remind you how great it is that we lost and resigned Wayne Wentz. Beautiful. No longer on the board. This is fantastic. Now, why did he resign? He didn't fully apologize. We'd like to find out all the apologies of all the things that he did. You know, with those kids in the middle school with the hazing and the bullying and the grades that are down in our district and all these other problems that we have. If he had apologized for all his actions and things that he did that allowed some of these things to occur within our district, that would be great. If he recognized the financial troubles we're in and the things that he did for that, apologizing for that would be great. Same with Larry, same with Steve Holland. He also has about the same history of being on this board. And then you got the new guys, Nathan and Rita. They should resign and apologize for some of the things that they did within our district. But just for kicks, because it's fun to do, and they canceled the meetings today. They canceled the policy meeting, so you've been silenced. They canceled the academic meeting today. Again, you've been silenced. But here we go. Let's take a look at this. Here's a letter to the editor. This guy wasn't silenced. Who were they that were writing this letter? Well, what do you know? Let's take a look at this. We got Todd Weaver, one of my buddies. Todd Weaver, Sharon Wentz. That's Wayne's wife. We got Stacey Duerst, Gloria Bowman. And then you got some of these other guys, which we know where these relationships come in. But let's just take a look at this for a second. Let's see what they had to say. They wrote it to the Times News. Times News published it. So let's take a little critique on it. Little web redemption time. First good comment. One must ask, what have they done to enhance student achievement in the district as well as the well-being of our community? Well, the first thing is we provided lawful transparency. We're trying to remove the corruption. Let's take a look at just how bad it was in our and still is in our district. This is the Safe Schools site. This is the Lehighton Area School District report. We had 22 arrests in Lehighton. 22 arrests last year. This is the 2019-2022 year. Doesn't make sense. Now, also we look at the PSSA results. Now, pretty low for the state as a whole for these government-run schools. But if we look at schools that were within the comprehensive support improvement goal, right? These are schools facing the most significant challenges in academic achievement. And then you got the additional targeted support improvement. These are schools in which the performance by one or more student groups is at or below the level of the comprehensive support and improvement schools. So this is below these guys. And when we take a look at that, we realize that Lehighton is really far below. And when we look at Lehighton as being in our targeted support and improvement, hang on a second. This is basically our PSSAs, our keystones. This is basically our grade. This is our report card to the community. How are we doing? Well, I'm disgusted. I've been trying to fight for this for a long time. We got to change things, how they're done in the schools. We got to support our classrooms. We got to get supplies into the classrooms. Anyone would think that you should. They fight it. They go down a path. The first path is you get Cleaver to complain and misdirect and mischaracterize things. Then you get Rita to do a rant in the Academic Affairs Committee. Then you get Larry to make excuses, make stuff up. And then when that doesn't work, you call in the Tkacken. You get Tim Tkacken, whatever. You call in Tim Tack, who now tries to bully the situation to say, this is what it is. Well, guys, tell you what, you can do a root cause analysis, support the teachers, support the classrooms, and do a better job. You don't need to use the same resources to solve the remedial school problems when other resources are available to you. Doing the same thing over and over isn't always the best logical choice. But here you go. Let's take a look at this. Our problem in Lehighton is students with disabilities. We have failed these students with disabilities. It's a shame. When you look at the PSA results for the whole state, yes, they're low. Government schools definitely struggle. But when you look at ours specifically and where we're fitting in with these other school districts, they're not all listed here, but a lot of them are. It's students with disabilities. We need to do a better job. We need to hold our government accountable. But let's take a look at more of this great letter of these guys. Next highlighted area as well is Mr. Bradley continues to file lawsuits against individuals on the board as well as the administration, costing taxpayers over $40,000. He and his co-candidates ran on the platform or school board to save tax dollars. He obviously was not ultimately his game plan. Excuse my reading. However, let's take a look at this. Who paid for the defense when the Auditor-General comes in and tells you that you broke these laws, you're in non-compliance, these laws? First finding, more than $13 million? $13 million? Right? Here you go, guys. Where's the real money being wasted? Where's the corruption? It's right here. They didn't follow the law. The Auditor General came in. We asked them to come in. Said, please come in. Take a look at this for us. These people over here. Stacey Duerst. She was on the board. Gloria Bowman. She was on the board. Auditor General, they should know better. Please come in. Please take a look. What'd you find? And they did. And this 49-page report shows it goes on and on about all the mess the school's in, academically and financially. So, I would have trouble listening to this group of rubber stampers. But let's take a look. All right, so that's that one. Very aware that many people did not want the elementary center. If these people writing this letter were aware that they did not want the elementary center or the stadium, they should have listened to the people. I mean, here you got Gloria Bowman, Stacey Duerst, Wayne Wentz's wife. They're on this letter saying they were aware. How were they aware? Why were they aware? And imagine if the Auditor General would have came in earlier. They would have identified that when Wayne Wentz, Larry Stern, Steve Holland, and these others moved money from the protected fund, general fund, to this protected area for post-employee benefits, and then later, again, in violation of what the code says about how to move money, moved it anyway and bought a stadium for cash. When the public, when they were aware that the public did not want the new stadium, they wanted to help their students. Help the students get better grades. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but you know, what are you going to do? Presently, the center is seeking a $1.5 million consolidated savings. Was that true? Did these people really believe it? Did they? Because the Auditor General did an audit and said, no, You did not get the consolidated savings. It cost you money to build that elementary center. Not only did it cost you money, it cost you interest. Over $1.5 million a year just in interest. We're spending $3 million on debt service. You're $100+ million in this. One of Wayne Wentz's legacies is this legacy of debt. They borrowed tons of money and did things that were not necessarily financially savvy or, according to our reports, in the best interest of the students' grades. Take a look at the next one. Demand Mr. Bradley and his cohorts be accountable for the accusations they make. Oh, I completely agree. Anytime I make an accusation, hold me accountable. Ask me questions. Have me prove it. I will use the minutes. I will use the documents presented by the school board. I will use the right to know agreement. I will use the right to know requests and the laws that are within me as a citizen to be used. Or within my ability as a citizen to be used. Everyone should be doing. And actually, the district should be publishing the information without even having to file a right to know. Now, we've done a great job in that and getting a lot more of that done. Lawful transparency is coming. That's one of the reasons why Wayne probably resigned. Lawful transparency. You get to hold your government officials accountable. So, one of the best ways, demand Dave Bradley's cohorts, demand it. I thought it was great that they demanded it. It was wonderful. We called in the Auditor-General. We met them at the Hampton Inn. They had a team, showed them all our documents, and then they went ahead and corroborated it all and proved it. Yes, Stacey, you asked for corruption to be found. We proved it. Gloria Bowman, corruption found. Proved it. Now end it and have these other guys resign so that lawful transparency, a lawful government can be provided back to this district. That's what we're looking for. End the corruption, end the waste. Okay, support education and student progress, not cutting programs or staff or lowering our educational standards. It was these people that they got elected that cut the transportation budget, that cut the library budget. I'm going to end there. This is a mess. Please, recognize what's going on in the district. They're scared. Wayne resigned so that the Democrats can put someone on the ballot and the Republicans to give more opportunities for the cabal to continue. The primary shows that the people are tired of the cabal. The Auditor General's report shows people are tired of the cabal. Our reports here, tired of the cabal. The hazing, tired of the cabal. The kid injured and put in pediatric ICU. We're tired of the cabal. Stop circling the wagons, protect our students, save the community. It's that simple. Thanks. Oh, let's do this one more time. Let's review the happy people that wrote this letter. Hold them accountable, folks. Hold them accountable. Ask questions, demand answers.